You're listening to Mid-Atlantic Gravel, Travel, and Dirt.
Hi, everybody. I'm Brian.
I'm Dave.
No.
I'm James.
Hi, everybody. I am Brian.
I am Joey.
I'm Dave.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 261. I'm going to use all of that as the intro because it's our podcast. We can do whatever we want. Welcome, everybody, to episode 261 of Mid-Atlantic Gravel, Travel, and Dirt. If you are new here, and hopefully, maybe you are, maybe you aren't. I don't know. Do you think we still get new listeners, or do you think it's mostly just repeat
If we
business?
get new, that's why we got to keep doing this or that.
Okay. Well, we just had a great debate over this or that. If you're new here, this is the podcast where we talk about gravel bikes, adventure biking, bike packing, bike camping. This week, we're going to talk about unPAved of the Susquehanna River Valley. I'm always very careful, Dave, to make sure that the Susquehanna River Valley is included. I remember very early in our conversations, you always wanted to make sure that that was included because of sponsorship.
Because of Susquehanna River Valley Visitors Bureau.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, it's a tongue twister, isn't it?
No, actually, I've gotten quite used to it.
The thing I do now, though, is when I text someone unPaved, the PA is always
It
capitalized.
has actually always
It's like
capitalized.
saves in my phone that way.
Good.
Yeah. The phone is.
Thank you, Siri.
The phone is smart.
I even I text Mike Kuhn the other day, and I made sure it was proper.
We're going to also talk a little bit about. Dave and I got to spend a part of the weekend together.
You did?
Yeah,
Sure did.
Up in Canton for the Tour de Chunk and Eric and Angie's gravel weekend, which is always turned into like quite the thing. It's a fascinating, just wonderful weekend. So I'm excited about that. Dave was also up for the gravel camp at what does James actually name that? What was the official name, Dave?
It was the PA Gravel Fest.
PA Gravel Fest. We're going to talk a little bit about that, but I'm hopeful, and Dave, I think you've talked to James, that we can get James on, and maybe you at the same time in the coming weeks, where we could actually just do a whole recap just of the Gravel Fest, because I always felt so bad. James was trying to get us sort of engaged with that, and it was over this last summer when we had so much sort of up in the air, and it just never really seemed to work out, and I've carried a burden over that. So maybe we can get James on and we can talk a little bit about.
We will lift that burden off of you.
Please, I would love that. I would love for that to actually go away. So we're going to talk about all that stuff, and obviously just playing bikes. Dave, it's good to see you again. How are you been?
Nice to see you guys again. Been very good. Been out playing bikes a lot recently, which is great. Definitely got to explore a lot of north central Pennsylvania that I've never been in, or been in but never got to ride, and that was fantastic. It's been quality time with quality people like you, Brian.
Aw, that's so nice. Joey, what have you got coming up this weekend? You got a NICA event,
adventure
right?
weekend, not a race. Adventure weekend up at Deep Creek.
What does that mean,
Mickle?
adventure weekend?
It means it's not a race. It is there to have fun, do some team building, ride with your whole team and your coaches. We're out at Deep Creek. There's no cell phone service. It's pretty rustic. Everyone's camping. It's a good quality, outdoorsy.
I didn't realize y'all did that. So you actually have sort of planned weekends that are not centered around a race. It's just gatherings.
Yep.
Oh, that is really cool.
So you gather 1,000 people.
Nice.
Kids and families, and
Nice.
you go take over the trails at Deep Creek. I mean, we actually have a course. Mm-hmm. It's set up same-wise safety with all the route markings, all the do not go, all the snow fencing, tape. We got ski patrol for first aid with first aid. It's that format still there, but
not timing.
The pressure.
The pressure's gone.
There was already a time trial this year. There was already a race. It's kind of like, all right, well, take a break this time.
Okay.
Hang out with the whole league.
Outstanding.
The Garrett County team is hosting us for like a taco bar party Friday night, and then Saturday it's NICA kickball. We had a glow in the dark kickball game at the last one, but this is actually on a real baseball field. And
okay.
I don't know if it'll be staff versus like teams or kids. I can't throw anything right now, so I'm just going to have to spectate because
your shoulder's still messed up.
I go to the ortho surgeon. I was supposed to go yesterday, but that got moved. But that's this weekend.
Cool. So, I did not realize that y'all did things weekends that weren't just race or event kind of specific. That's a nice little. How many do you just one or how many of those do you actually do?
That's just one.
Okay.
I'm possibly thinking about another venue
Okay.
and maybe doing something with Pennsylvania or West Virginia next year. Like
a little crossover kind of thing.
Pennsylvania had a huge one before their season, like 4 weeks ago. And there was like, they're split up into conferences now, and they had like 4 different adventure weekends all over Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. It was cool.
Mm-hmm. Dave, how much have you been around NICA folks? Obviously with Mike, but I mean...
I've been around a lot of the NICA folks. I haven't really gone to any of the events, but
okay.
I'm surrounded by people on the organization team and different coaches, a few different kids I know that have been part of it. But yeah, it's a big part of the Pennsylvania cycling scene for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Mike's got like a little empire up there. Real quick, the thing I didn't talk about, because I know Dave's going to talk about it real quick, but I never talked about New Bike Day. I haven't done a new bike day in a long time.
Okay, give us. Do you want to hold for an whole episode, or you want to give us that?
No, I got a Ritchie Road Logic.
Okay.
British Racing Green, silver Ritchie everything.
It's pretty,
and it is
nice.
It's actually still pretty light for a road bike, for a steel bike. Mm-hmm. Geometry is right where I want it. It's just been comfortable.
Yeah.
I'm fighting a shoulder pain. Like 20 miles the other day, like I definitely had too much pressure.
I fought some pain this weekend too. I fought that pain of climbing gravel roads up steep ascents. That was my pain that I fought this weekend.
But
those weren't steep.
Yeah, they were. Some of them were.
That's New Bike Day. I've ridden it with you. I've ridden it.
I've seen pictures of it.
It's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah.
It's like my All City Zigzag, but like better.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
I mean, Mr. Tom Ritchie knows what he's doing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty bike.
That's
a very pretty bike.
Yeah.
And it's that's solid. That's solid. And I know that you were looking for something a little different, and steel is real. And it'll last you a real long time. And do you have to worry about this one rusting? No,
not like the rodeo.
Have to worry about this one.
Although rodeo posted, did you see that British Racing Green Trail Donkey with the Porsche yesterday?
No.
Oh my God, it was, and they did silver everything too. I've been a big fan of the silver cockpit stuff.
Yeah.
Everyone uses black, but that was a beautiful bike.
Nice. Well, I want to give just a quick recap and a thank you to Angie and Eric and the entire Canton Cycling Club for what they do with Tour de Champs. Absolutely beautiful roads. I mean, because we go up, so we all went up on Friday, and then we had like a whole weekend, and we did another ride on Saturday, which had a picnic in the middle of it that, Angie and Eric put all this food together. People brought food. So we did like 10 miles and then met up with a whole other group of people, did another 10 miles and then had lunch and then did 10 miles back to the house. And then Sunday was race day. We all waited for Dave to show up at the beginning, and then he didn't. And then Eric said, well, when I left the house, he was sitting in a comfy chair with coffee. So I think you were only like 10 or 15 minutes behind us. We should have waited. I'm sorry about that, Dave.
You should have waited, because you should have started when the 50-mile ride started.
Well,
that's what you should have done.
I wasn't going to say.
Someone should have read the email.
But the email that Eric sent said that we should all start at 9:00. That was the email that Eric said. Eric was looking. But then
I said that because I didn't read a lot of Eric's email, and he kept calling me out on it because he was right.
Yeah. So
an event director is not reading another event's email.
Well, see, no. To be fair, I'm gonna defend.
It just got very hostile, so I wanted to throw a little bit in the fire.
He actually read and followed the directions of the actual event director, not the weekend coordinator. So there's multiple layers of management, and you all chose which level to follow. I also want to give a huge shout out to Jesse Piccolo, who brought us more of these amazing smoked pistachio nuts. And I told Jesse the weekend, I hope I didn't offend him, but I was like, when you tell somebody that they've kind of upped their game with their product, it almost feels like you're saying that the previous iteration was inadequate, but that is not at all the case. But he has definitely honing his smoked pistachio game and really upping it. He told me that he's added some salt and some other things to the mix. And wait till you try those, Joey, because I brought Joey a bag.
They're real good.
Save them for the road trip tomorrow.
So good. So very good.
You're going to make a mess on your car.
It is an Enterprise DOT rental truck.
There you go, then.
I'm going to leave them on the floor just like I left them at Croatan.
Probably the people that are cleaning up, their first reaction is going to be like, I got to clean this mess up, and then they'll get a whiff at it, and they'll be like, that's okay, I'm going to keep all these shells. But I brought you a bag. The other thing is, I've gone on like a bit of a T-shirt frenzy and a logo frenzy because everybody keeps saying you should do this, you should do that, and I just
you got to like slowly release all these.
No, I want to. You know, honestly, what I'm trying to do is I want them all ready for Christmas, so that you can go and get your Yeats logo shirt. You can go and get your dairy, your Gravel Queen, your Gravel King. I had some folks buy at the same order. Gravel King and a Gravel Queen, and I'm like, you know what? That's a fantastic Halloween costume right there, if you ask me. So there's so many angles, and yes, they're not inexpensive. I will say that right up front. They're not inexpensive, but for what you get, Dave, you'd agree you have one of the Gravel King shirts. They're actually nice quality.
Oh, it's a nice shirt. Yeah. I get a lot of compliments on that shirt.
I make sure.
I saw the
go ahead.
The sheets rip off, and as much as I'm a Wawa person, there are definitely more sheets in gravel country in Pennsylvania than there are Wawas. Wawa's more in the paved areas, but I still think there should be a gravel knockoff of the Wawa, just so then you can see which one sells better.
Yeah, it's good.
That's how we can finally judge it.
It'll happen.
But I was on a call yesterday when you sent that, and I'm like trying not to. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, I wish these people could see what I was.
I did buy us some shirts.
Thank you.
We have shirts on the way, and I think you said you wanted one of the coffee cups too. So we'll get all that stuff. But you can get coffee cups. And sorry, Matt, I actually made gravel whoopie pie socks, and I made Gravel King socks. I don't know I'm sure the quality of the sock itself is suspect. I'll actually get a pair and give you the one too. But I can't. Matt's making beautiful high visibility socks. These are socks that have like a Burger King logo on them. I mean, we're not in the same. We're not in the same realm. It's more for fun than anything.
There's room
else.
for both. Yeah,
absolutely. Thank you, Dave. There's room for all of us to play in the sock game, and I'm sure the socks, like I said, are not of the same quality. But one more time, Tour de Shunk. It's a relatively small event, and it's cool that it combines. There's like a century road and a shorter metric road, and then there's a 50 and a 70. On the gravel.
This is their 25th anniversary.
I know.
They've been doing this quite a while.
That ride, 25th of that ride?
25th of that ride. Absolutely. It started in, I guess that would be 25 years ago, in 1999. Doing simple math. I'm not really good with math, but that one's not hard to figure out.
That seemed doable, yeah.
Yeah. They did reverse the course this year, which I really liked. Last year, Dave, we went that long, slow, gentle 2-3% down we did for the last 20 miles. That was the up.
Yeah, that was nice.
I
like what we did.
Yeah, so instead of like a screaming descent when you're tired and a long slog of 20 miles of 3% in the beginning, they reversed it. So I had that really heavy climb right out of the gate, which, it did pitch up to 15, 16% at times. And it stayed consistent.
But not to like mile 10 or so. Like the first 5 to 7 were pretty nice. And then I kept going, where's the climb? And then it showed up. But there was a warm up.
Yeah. So and then you had the rest stop. And then the last 20 miles of this ride were literally downhill. It was and no joke downhill too. Not like a up and then here's a punchy up, or down and a punchy up. And it was also gentle. It wasn't a screamer. It wasn't a 10%.
No, it was rolling. You'd still keep a pedal on it. Yeah. It was nice.
It was spot on. I really like that. I hope they keep it.
And great Gamelands double track road that was gated off, so private and no cars, a couple horses, but no cars. That was beautiful to get a real quiet section.
And I think that was almost 10 miles, if I remember right.
So I think it was like 7, I think, something like that. But
somewhere in that ballpark.
Ways,
It was a long ways, and it was a lot of fun. Just what a great weekend, and then a big spaghetti dinner at the end. Joey, we'll have to figure out a way to get you there one of these years. We'll get you there. It'll be fun.
Or go right around.
Yeah.
Well, as long as it all depends on NICA.
Yeah. And the weekends. Well, you'll be the king, so you'll be able to set the schedules. Or who sets the schedules?
That'll be Me and John sitting down next week for next year. As long
Really?
as it doesn't fall on unpaved weekend.
Really? Okay.
It's my only. No offense to anyone else, but like the thing I look most forward to in the fall, I will not have an event that weekend.
This is the first time Pickles had to have a race on unpaved weekend. It just had to happen, so it happened. But
Yeah, but you can't get away with it all the time, There's going to be I think we've all kind of realized that in the gravel community because there's, independent producers doing their own things and directors doing their own things. There's going to be crossover.
Yeah.
And that's just nature of the beast. So.
Yeah, Pennsylvania Gravel Fest was the same weekend as Tour de Chunk, and that would have been a good crossover of the same people, but couldn't happen. So
I think Moco Epic is unpaved weekend too.
Okay. Well, let's talk about unpaved. Dave,
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked unpaved a lot. But I think we get I jest that we don't get new listeners, but I do think we get new folks that come through. And I was thinking about this over the weekend as we were riding along. Dave, do you believe that anybody has ever actually confused you with being actual clergy? Because you walked in,
Definitely not.
You walked in on the weekend, and everybody was like, "Father Dave, Father Dave." I was curious about that. If anybody's ever said,
I may preach a lot, but no, I don't think anyone's confused me with actual clergy.
So what's new? What are people going to find new at unpaved this year? Is there anything that's new? Or are you honing it in?
Maybe something that's new for this time of year, just to make sure everyone knows. There are plenty of spots still available. We're about 2/3 full across the board. So typically around now we're full or almost full. But we're not. I mean, events are changing a little bit. There's a lot more events on the horizon. But our great, big, wonderful festival of amazing premier gravel, there's still opportunities to come up to play. And while the weather's getting great, you always want to do unpaved, but weren't sure you could pull it off and timing. But now you look at the calendar and see October 13th weekend is free. Come on up. There's definitely spots available. We're about 2/3 full of any of the unpaved routes, the 50, the 70, sorry, not 70, 50, 90, or 120. And our Burley 30, the 30 miler which is a legit gravel right now. We changed that last year. Before, a 30 miler was mostly paved country roads with a couple little dirt sections and rail trail. We moved the start finish up to the actual course itself. So you get to drive up the mountain that you don't have to ride up.
Okay.
And then you get to do those rolling hills on the Burley 30, which is also the new difference between the 90 and the 120. So you get to use that course and do a start finish up there. And our slumber party is actually 99% full. We just had a spot open up. Someone dropped out. So if you are still interested in doing the slumber party, where you get to do the route but start on Saturday and spend the night out in camp in RB Winter, and we'll lug your gear up for you. You don't have to do a full bike packing version of it. We do gear transport, and that there's still one spot available. So secret to all your listeners, that just opened up.
Okay.
So if one wants to get in, holler, or just go sign up now.
Okay, so there's
and we'll have. Go ahead.
No, it's just there's the slumber party. There is the 30. There's a 50.
Yep.
There's a 90.
Yep.
And then the full pool's 120.
Yep, and there is a 200 happening this year. Last year we let some people go out and try it. We had about, I think, 7-ish or so go check out their 200 miles that we were looking at, and they gave us feedback, so we made some adjustments off of that. So this year we'll have 13 people taking part in a real 200-mile race that starts again on Saturday, the day before. They ride through the night, so they'll hopefully be coming to the unpaved party roughly the same time as a lot of our other finishers and get to celebrate that together.
We had Cass on. And they were the Lanterne Rouge for the Big Lick last year, and so I'll link to that episode maybe in the show notes, so people, if you're interested in what that was about, from the back of the pack perspective, it give you an idea of what that looked like, because I know there were people that did that Big Lick, and
that is the hardest back of the pack ever.
No joke. No joke.
So what we got from Cass and also from Jess Dankman, who wrote in with Cass and a few other riders, was how to adjust some of the chunky sections. So we took a lot of them out. So we found a lot more smoother gravel to pull into 200 miles. There's a couple little pieces, but it's early on versus at the end when you're cooked. So we did make some pretty significant route changes based off of their feedback.
Okay. So always always striving to improve all the routes across the board.
And
Love that.
we found new gravel roads I hadn't been on before. They were great. So.
Isn't that wild that you can do that? I find that amazing. There's no way
Everything's possible in Pennsylvania.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk
tagline.
Let's talk about the weekend.
Yeah, Friday through Sunday night.
Yeah, so the dates for folks that were interested, it's October 13, 14 or 12, 13?
No, so
11, 12, 13.
Friday the 11th, Saturday the 12th, Sunday the 13th, and then you can roll out of town on the 14th on Indigenous Peoples / Columbus Day. For those of you who have that off, or if not, take it off anyway. You deserve it.
Got it. Okay, so Friday. What's happening Friday in town? I know Lewisburg.
Friday, people start rolling into town, especially all the cool kids, and then we will gather at the various establishments in downtown Lewisburg. For those of you that haven't been there before, it's a great college town, Bucknell University. But this weekend is their fall break, so a lot of the students head out of town to go back home for the weekend. So we get the town pretty much to ourselves. And so we take over the Bull Run Tap House or the Town Tavern or the Lewisburg Hotel or any of the variety of places all around, Jackass Brewing, and hang out. We haven't really dialed in all the fun and games we're thinking of yet. There might be some roller races again this year. We might do something else entirely. So we'll dial that in as we get a little bit closer. But it's a great time for everyone to gather, talk about the year they've been doing. Most people haven't seen each other since unPAved the year before. So we really enjoy getting together and gathering. Gravel riders really like camaraderie and community. And this is a great way to kick that off and have a few days together.
Well, it also
usually goes well into the night.
Because it's Friday night, and the event, unless you're doing the slumber party, the event actually is Sunday. So you've got all day Saturday to recover from all the fun you have Friday night, right?
Or you can do the big lick with the hangover, as some people have.
Maybe that's the way to do it.
Maybe not. Proven not.
Proven not to do that way. Okay, so that's Friday night, and that is always a lot of fun. I missed unPAved last year. But I know there was like the sprinting thing that Swing Bike John got involved with, and there were other people that did that, and all that stuff happens at Bull Run Tap House, right?
That's a good place to start, and then see where we kind of head out from there.
See where you go from there.
Last year, the whole weekend format was a little different, but so perfect.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
good, because we're keeping a lot of that.
I definitely had FOMO last year. Definitely had FOMO last year. Then Saturday, what happens on Saturday?
Saturday is the Lewisburg Fall Festival. So now back in Huffnagel Park, where it was the first couple years, and then Huffnagel Park went under construction, so we moved it all around downtown. But now we're back in our rightful place, nestled up against the Bull Run Tap House. We'll have our rider sign in and packet pickup and swag pickup there. You can also there's be lots of vendors, lots of sponsors will have booths there. And then there's a lot of food trucks. There's a lot of arts and crafts vendors. There's lots of kids activities, bike rodeo. The downtown Market Street will be closed off. So we get the town takeover feel again. It's a really great, I'm so happy that the Lewisburg decided to move the festival to our weekend. It just creates an amazing atmosphere of why you go out to different places and explore.
Well, I think we may have said this before, but it allows non-bike people to see bike people in a different light, and it allows bike people to see non-bike people in a different light, and we're all sharing this.
And I get my kettle corn every year.
Yeah, and
important.
The liquor infused whoopie pies and
also a plus. Yeah.
All those things are amazing, and I don't think you see all that. There's also the a couple of years ago tomato pie. There was the tomato pie that was
I love tomato pie.
Good. I went back to that a couple of times.
My friend Austin rode down from Ithaca. He stayed at World's End first night, and then I was like, you can't miss, just ride to the middle of town. You can't miss all these people, and he rolled in.
Yeah, you can't.
To the fall festival.
You can't miss it at all. Yeah. You can't miss it at all. Is he going to be there this year?
I don't know.
I know. Yeah, I know he's doing a frame builder show right now, right?
Yeah.
Out in Colorado, I thought somewhere.
Bentonville.
Bentonville. That's it. He's in Bentonville. So Saturday, fun time. No
fun time. We'll also have some unPAved, we call them, rides starting off, so you can sign up for those as well. Kelly Catali is going to lead a ride. think around 10 a.m., where she used to do her training rides. She went to Bucknell U and got on the bike team there. That's where she fell in love with bikes in that area. We also have an ice cream ride. We might have the Pennsylvania Dirt Bags lead a pub crawl sort of ride. I think we got some ideas of what's going on there. So you can sign up for one of those and get a shakeout ride with some flavor.
Nice. So that's all happening on Saturday. And then the slumber party.
Oh, wait, there's more.
Oh, okay. Keep going.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's where I was going to go to next. The slumber party people, they'll be starting their rides from there. They started from the Miller Center, but they'll sign in and do stuff from there. But then they'll ride off from the Miller Center, then head out and do at least the first 20 miles of their ride, but they might do 50 that day, or they might flip and do 20 and then do the extra 30, or they might just do 90. Depends how they feel when they get to camp at RV Winter.
Nice.
And then at 2:30 is when we'll have a grand depart for our Big Lake riders. So they will do a group start at 2:30, and so it'll be nice to have a send off for them at the festival.
Oh, cool. Now, how many of those are there? How many did you
16.
say? 16. You may have said that already.
Right? Nope. 13. Sorry.
13. Okay. Oh, that's fun. That's right in the middle of the festival, and you're going to do it from the festival, not from the Miller Center.
Correct. They are going to start right at the festival.
Excellent.
Just start rolling out of town there.
Excellent. Cool. That's I like that big send off roll off for those. Yeah. That's fun. That's a lot of fun.
They're crazy and they could use some support.
Yeah. Lucky 13.
Yeah.
Okay, so Saturday's winding down.
No.
Yet? Are we winding down yet?
What's 2:30?
It's only 2:30.
Wait, there's more.
Okay, keep going.
Then, I think let's look at the schedule again. 5:30 p.m. we will do the Gravel Film Festival over at the Historic Campus Theater.
Ah, nice. Who's
That's one of my favorites.
I really love that too. Who's gonna have stuff there this year?
We're still working on the lineup for that. We have a couple videos, short films that our team shot last year. One, an overview of unPAved, but also a really fun one about whoopie pies. So that will be there. We have a few other vendor videos as well, something from town. And then we're still working on the details, but I'm pretty sure we're going to do the full film of the pants route.
Okay.
That the Pennsylvania Dirtbags did last year. So
excellent.
I think we'll do an intermission, grab another beverage or two, and then all gather around and watch the pants route on the big screen. To be pretty awesome.
So I want to give that a plug because if you've come to unPAved and you've never done the film festival, do yourself a solid and come to the film festival. There's something really, I don't know. It's
the atmosphere is cool. The theater's cool, and you leave with some beautiful. Extra inspiration.
Yes, all of those things put together. Joe, you just nailed it. That's exactly what it is.
And there's usually a lot of alcohol if you like beer.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's exactly what it is.
And popcorn.
It's
fun. I like popcorn, but yeah.
It's just that you don't find something like that in a theater like that everywhere you go. That is very special.
Yeah.
It is very, very special. Yeah. And so don't miss that. If you're coming to unPAved, even if you've done it before, come again, because there's something really unique. There's something really unique about it. You know, that film festival is really cool. So what else happens on Saturday?
Well, if you're still inspired and want to hang out more, we can hang out more Saturday night.
Okay.
The town doesn't shut down, but then you're on your own to put your legs up, get ready for the next day's big ride, or if you still want to hang out some more, we're game for that. So
get yourself ready. Then Sunday, what's the race day schedule look like from the Miller Center?
Race day schedule all across the highway over at the Miller Center. Again, we're happy to be back at one of the best venues to have a bike event, at least if you're an event organizer, with all their space and facilities and set up. There'll be coffee and breakfast vendors open starting at 6:30 a.m. And the way we do unPAved, because we do segment racing, we can get to that in a second. It is a roll-off start at your own leisure, at your own time, thinking about what pacing you want. We don't have a mass start because people ride at their own pace. There's people who could use 12 to 14 hours to do 120 miles, so they should start around 6:30. There's other people that only need 10-ish, so they can start 7:38, something like that. So we give people that option. Also helps if you are running around, you can't find your stuff, you don't feel like you're going to miss the start, that's okay. Go find your gloves or go hit the porta-john before you go. So you can start really for the 120, recommending time between 6:30 and 8:30 a.m. If you're doing the 90, probably 7:30 to 9 a.m. is a good time to start. And if you're doing the 50, anytime between 8 and 9 a.m. Those all start from the Miller Center those times. We will say the Burley 30, those riders do have a start altogether at 10 a.m. So we try and time that so that at least a number of the 120 racers have gotten onto the course before they have to navigate 30 milers as well. But the ones who are pacing themselves on the 120 can handle that a little bit better. So we do a mass start for the 30s. That said, it's a non-competitive event, so you can also make sure you still grab your gloves and hit the porta-john one more time, and don't feel bad that people started rolling off because it's not competitive. We'll give you your time, but that's not the most important thing for the 30.
Okay. Now, competitive. What does you're doing segment timing? So folks that don't quite understand what segment timing looks like, walk us through that a little bit.
Mm-hmm. So segment timing is and we'll use the 120 miles because that's the one competitive one. That's the one we give out prizes for and declare champions of the Whoopie Pies for the 120 miles. The rest we'll post your times and you can see your times how you compare to others, but it's not a competitive. There's no podiums or such for the 90 or the 50 or the 30. But the way we do segment timing is you ride at your leisure until you get to a starting section. There's flags up, there's a timer mapped. Once you roll over that, you're racing until the end of that segment. And for example, the first one for all of them, other than the 30, is the Jones Mountain Climb. It's always been our first thing. It's the biggest climb of the event. It's also the first climb of the event. You're welcome. You want to make sure you know what you're getting for the rest of the day. And hold on, I just lost the notes on that. Here we go. So it starts at mile 15-ish, and it's a 3 mile climb up to the first section, up to the first vista. So you do the full climb, and then once you cross the timing mat at the finish, you can relax at your pace. You can either slow down, you can stop at the vista and catch your breath, or put your jacket on, or grab a bite to eat, or wait for your friends if you drop them on that climb, or catch up to your friends if they drop you on that climb. So it's also kind of like regroup racing too. So if the three of us were riding together, we get to race each other those segments, and then after the end of the segment, we get to stop and wait, and then we can ride together again for a while until we get to the next segment, and then we can race each other again, and then we can stop at the aid station again, that sort of thing. So it's one of the big pluses of segment racing. The second one for the 120s is about a 23-mile section of the Burley 30 course. They get to go off towards RB Winter and do, how many categories climbs are on that course? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, roughly 6 climbs in that 24 miles, wow. 23 miles. Yeah, we think it's easier than the previous difference because it doesn't have a chunky road and the climbs aren't as long or hard, but at the same time, it adds up pretty quick. It's a legit course, that Burley 30. It's not a beginner ride around the rail trail sort of thing.
Got it. Okay.
So they'll do that section. They hit an aid station before they start. There's a relief section or emergency stop if they need anything, but that one is timed. It's the only timed one on the segment, but most of our aid stations are not timed. So if you want to stop at an aid station, you can fill up your water bottles, you can get more food, you can change your tube if you need to, you can take your time in an aid station. You're not being timed to those, take care of yourself. That's another big plus of segment timing. Those riders will then head back to the course. They'll catch back on what the 50s and 90s are doing. The segment after that we call the Hollows. It's a 5 miles, mostly descending one. You're welcome. It rolls fast. It's got a couple little bumps in it to make sure you stay on top of your gear. But it's a really beautiful downhill section, which ends right before the ranch aid station. So it's great to finish and then roll right into aid and get food and water, hot dogs, potato chips, all the yummy stuff you'd want after a hard effort. Brian, I think you have won the ranch both years you've stopped there.
I don't know. I don't know, but that is literally my favorite part of the entire course. Is that rolly downhill? You can just really it's so much fun going into the ranch. It's just an amazing, beautiful section of gravel. I just love it.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it.
So the ranch will be there. It's the Pedals and Pints crew out of Millheim. They're a weekly charity ride that goes on all summer, and they love putting on the aid station. It's kind of their big gathering at the end of the year. It's a great volunteer group. So they'll take care of you there. If you're riding the 50, or if you were riding the 120 and you're like, I don't know, I think I'm kind of done, you can make your first kind of executive decision, choose your own adventure there and take a left. The 50s take a left, and then anyone else can as well. And that'll start bringing you back towards Mifflinburg and the Rusty Rail, and we'll get to the brewery a little bit later. But that's like the first choice you can make in your day. Well, actually, the 120s could choose not to do the 30-mile add-on. They could actually just go, that climb was more than I expected. I'm just going to change my day already.
The 120
There's a few different decision points.
In that, the 120 becomes a 90 at that point.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the 120 can become a 90. It can become an 80, can become or 70. That's options are abound. They'll stay with the 90s and 120s. They'll keep heading to the south through Woodward. They'll get to go up the Woodward climb and then bomb down, which is the best descent on the course, the Cherry Run Leaf Tunnel. Absolutely gorgeous section, which brings you to the Po Valley Rail Trail, which used to be an old railroad line that goes through an old railroad tunnel that gets dark right in the middle to the point where you wish you had a light, but then in 3 seconds you're fine and you can see the end of the tunnel.
Unless in that 3 seconds you run into a wall, like some of us have done.
Don't run into a wall. Don't run into a horse.
It's the horse that did it.
It is a good time to have a light, but you can make it without a light.
You can make it without a light unless a horse is standing at the other end blocking all light. That's what happens.
That's the adventure. That brings you to the Popatty Oasis, that aid station, which is internationally known, with Nittany Mountain Works pierogies, all the love you can get from Hush Money Bikes to keep you rolling. The Pennsylvania Environmental Council will be running the aid station this year. They're a great group. We can talk about the public lands ride, or you guys will talk about it after next 2 weeks episode, after Joey and I get to spend time at their ride. And again, another great place. You're not being timed. Take care of yourself. You're about to go on to a big section of the course, so make sure you're fueled, make sure you have everything you need. Is because at that point you are at, and this is where you'll edit it, so this delay in time won't be an issue.
You edit?
So at that point you're at mile 72 of the 120. So yeah, you're at mile 72 or 42 if you're doing the 120 or the 90. Oh, sorry, 70. Let's just say 75 for easy math.
Okay.
You have a big climb after that, then a fun descent, and another big climb after that, and then a fast descent. And that brings you to the last segment of the day, which is Bear Gap. And that is a 13-mile segment that is all climbing. No, not all climbing. We do put the timing down at the bottom of Huff Nickel Road, not Longwell Draft. Sorry if I gave anyone PTSD. Not Huff Nickel Road. Longwell Draft's got to come back sometime soon, but not this year.
Yeah. Somebody just tuned out when you said Longwell Draft.
Someone just asked for a refund. Longwell Draft is not part of this year's unPAved the Susquehanna River Valley. You're welcome, sorry, not sorry, something, however the kids say it. So 13 miles, big gradual climb with a little kicker at the end, and then a bombing descent and that timing finish. That's the end of the timing for the day. So it's roughly, I think, somewhere around 35, 40 miles of timing on the 120-mile course. And then you have a beautiful recovery descent, a huge reward from all that effort, which takes you to the Camp K aid station. Again, not being timed anymore. You can take as much time as you want there. But at that point, you're at mile 102 or 72. And then you have about 12 miles to get to Mifflinburg and the Rusty Rail Brewing Company aid station, because if there's a brewery on course, why not stop there? Why not have a full-on aid station there? So you will stop there. They'll have beers out. They'll have food. They'll take good care of you. It's also our official timing finish. So this is where we do keep track of your full time, so you can see how long it took you to ride it. But that is where we stop the timer, because it's a 9-mile recovery ride to the Miller Center in Lewisburg. And we want you to take that as easy as possible. It's a very populated rail trail. Kids The Mennonite and Amish community use that to get around. So we don't want anyone racing on that, trying to like beat their goal time for 120 miles. Please take that easy. Please enjoy it. There's ice cream along the way. There's a brewery, another brewery in the middle of it, or right by the end of it. Take your time on that rail trail. Enjoy it. It's usually beautiful, but that time of day, it's usually a great tailwind as well. So it shouldn't take you long. And that will bring you back to the Miller Center for the unPAved party.
unPAved party. Let's talk about unPAved party.
Yeah. When you get to the finish line, if you earned a whoopie pie, and chances are you did, you will get a whoopie pie for finishing unPAved. All the winners of unPAved get a whoopie pie. And there's also some other cool prizes, like one of the surprises you get for finishing. And more vendors will be there. New Trail Brewing will be there. Birch Beer will be there. Food trucks will be there. It's a great gathering. We're going to do lots of raffle prizes from our sponsors and vendors. So we ask them all to make sure that they stock up our raffle prizes so anyone who finishes gets a chance to win something. We throw those prizes in the mix for everyone, not so much for podiums. We actually don't even do podiums during unPAved party because someone finishes early, they may have a fast segment time, but someone who finishes last could have faster segment times. So we will do that math usually a day or two later. Wish we could do podiums right then. We could probably spend a lot more money to get more efficient kind of timing for that. But at the same time, everyone's really there for a good time that night. And it's a great way to touch base on Tuesday or Wednesday afterwards once we know who the winners are. So
Excellent.
that's when we post all the times a little bit later. Yeah, so that we'll watch all the other finishers come in. We'll watch big lick finishers, 50, 90, 120 finishers as they come in through the night. All the 30s should come back in. I know you parked further away and you could head home right after you're finished, but come on down to the Miller Center and hang out with us and cheer everyone else in.
Excellent. Now, I'm excited about what Joey and I are going to do this year. We're going to be...
What are you doing?
Yes.
I'm going to be an RB winner with you.
Are you riding or volunteering?
No, volunteering. Volunteering. We
could use more volunteers too. Let's talk about how great volunteering is.
Volunteer. I've had more.
It's a great way to spend the time up there. Yeah.
I've ridden multiple distances there, but I haven't ridden in a couple of years, and it's actually a lot of fun. I did sweep one year on the 50.
I would
Hand-wrenched.
like to go out at some point during the course of the time that we're there and do the 30, the difference, and just all
Yeah, I'm gonna ride Saturday
point.
morning
Yeah, maybe do that Saturday
from
morning.
the campsite.
Yeah, and then you will
go to
see
the
that
fall
loop
Just from the campsite.
and we will be at the fall
Drive
festival.
down to the festival.
We will be
Perfect.
at Bull Run Friday night. We're going to Bull Run Friday night.
Why not?
Yeah, we're gonna be at all the places. But I'm just really excited to be able to see people, talk to people, and kind of that vibe. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about doing that. And I think, Dave, you said that we're gonna have some firewood. We're gonna have campfire. We're gonna have
We
some.
will put you guys in charge of getting firewood for the slumber party.
And then
So we make sure we have dry firewood.
I don't know. We'll have other stuff going on too. I don't know.
Yeah, you should volunteer. If you're listening,
I
and
am.
you're not.
Oh, you're talking to somebody
I'm
else.
talking to the can right now.
Talking to the mic.
Like I always preach
Except
it,
all
but
volunteers.
but,
we could use them at aid stations. We could use you as marshals on course. We can give you a job that you ride your bike to, so you could still get a day out on a bike. We can give you jobs that you can sit out on a patio chair and just kind of cheer or wave riders along and make sure they stay safe from any oncoming traffic. That's always an important job. We have lots of different kind of work that can be done out on unPAved and all weekend long. Like we have different things on Friday, some checking in the big lick riders or slumpy partiers. We let them check in a little earlier. Also Saturday in the expo in the booth, like helping people sign in or help sling merchandise. Yeah. Jobs for all.
Do it.
yeah, and this
rewarding.
might hurt some people. It might be a big announcement, but you can actually go to an event and not ride your bike and still have fun.
Yes, of course you
Like,
can. Of course
There's
you can.
some people, I don't know what it is, they're gung ho, but like all the events you go to have to be helped out with volunteers. So just
Pick one. Pick
one because unPAved you can ride on Saturday and
Yeah,
you can do all the fun rides. And
we've always been tried to encourage people to do
For years, yeah.
volunteer work.
I mean, sometimes I get put in charge of announcing because I say that, but
There's somebody else throws you under that bus.
But no, I honestly could say I've had just as much fun volunteering as riding.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I really am. I think it's going to be because one of the things that I kind of miss at events is is getting to see and chat with people, and this is going to be the perfect opportunity to do that. I'm going to get to see and interact and talk with a lot of people, and I love that. I'm very, very excited about it. So if you are interested in that too, Dave, what would a prospective volunteer, what do they need to do? Is there something on the website they can go and register as a volunteer, or?
That's a fantastic question. I was just trying to look on the website real quick.
Or you could just email Joey.
I'll figure it
email
out.
Joey. You can email me, Dave at unpavedpennsylvania.com. You can DM us on Instagram or Facebook. There's a link on our Instagram as well.
Okay.
It's a Google form you fill out. It doesn't take much to do it. But yeah, we should get it up on the website.
I don't see it.
Oh, there it is. No, there's a button on our website right under the photo that says volunteer.
Okay.
Yes.
There it is.
I definitely filled out a Google form for that. Yep.
So I don't think I did that.
You should probably do that.
I should probably do that. I'll do that.
Could you do that? I appreciate it.
I will absolutely do that. I'll do it right when we are finished, so you'll have it straight away before I forget. Well, that's so. If you're looking to volunteer, if you're interested in volunteering, there's your path forward, and it doesn't have to be. And like if you've got somebody there for the weekend, and somebody else is riding, and you're looking for something to do, and not like the area.
Nothing is open Sunday morning. Trust me. So why not go stand on a corner and do some course marshaling?
But it's more than just standing on a corner. There's
No, I didn't mean it like that.
Yeah, I know.
There's nothing open. Except the sheets. Mifflinburg, I don't know.
I'm going to go into the sheets wearing our Yeats t-shirts and see if anybody asks me where the beer or, ask me a question. Just you put on my Yeats shirts and go stand around and wait for somebody to come in and ask a question. And then I can give them a fun answer.
Anyway.
All right. Dave, is there anything else unpaved related that you want to mention, you want to bring to the table? We've talked about the course,
if I can
parties, and all that.
Bring up some sponsor love because a lot of them will be at the expo, so you can check them out. Very excited that Love Cycles has come on as our bike sponsor this year. I also had a new bike day this week. I got their Utald, their roadish bike, because a lot of the roads I have around where I live are paved and then occasional bits of steep dirt versus, the unpaved or maybe more of a Segla course, which is tons of gravel all the time. So they make a bunch of different, and I think they're releasing their mountain bike shortly too.
Wow.
So check out Love Cycles. Hopefully they'll have some of those there. Of course, none of this would be possible without the Susquehanna River Valley Visitors Bureau. It's an amazing place to visit any time of year. So when you're there, check them out and find out more about coming back there anytime. Stan's No Tubes, they've been with us since the beginning. They're releasing new product, lubes and bike wash. They're having a whole bunch of bio-based things that are really great. We'll have some new gear from Giordano Cycling, where I just approved some killer designs, very different, more casually loose, woolish. They'll just leave it at that right now, but it's going to be amazing. They did a great job. Be great to have Backyard Beans back. They'll be on course at the top of Jones Mountain, slinging out cold brews. They'll also be cooking breakfast for our slumber party riders on Sunday morning. Love having them. Kuat Rocks is new this year. They'll be there at their booth showing off how you can get your bikes all these cool places. Carbo Rocket will be supporting hydration for everyone. Bike flights, for those of you that fly in from outside the Mid-Atlantic and still listen to this podcast, thank you for listening to this non-regional podcast for you. But also ship your bike via bike flights. Nindy Mountain Works back, not just slinging pierogies, but also the pierogi bag, their top tube bag, their stem bags. They make all the great kind of bags you need. It's great having two great breweries, Rusty Rail Brewing and also New Trail Brewing. But we also are bringing in Endo Tune-Up for non-alcoholic, but also a little bit of mind-altering goodness. They do their THC line of seltzers, and they'll be available at the Dunpave party. Great bike shop support from Hush Money Bikes, of course, Freesaw Cycles, and then two local ones to that area, Brookside Bikes in Mifflinburg and Link Cyclery in Lewisburg. Philly Bike Expo will be there. We love Philly Bike Expo. It's like having them there as their fall getaway now since their events in spring. Make sure you go to that in the spring. Ride Pro 13. Might be a little bit crunch time if you want to get coaching, but I bet they could help you out if you're still kind of panicked on being in shape for this sort of thing. And Purple Lizard Maps, none of this would be possible without them. And, of course, the Miller Center, because also we wouldn't have a home without them. So That would be your sponsorship rundown, brought to you by unPAved, the Susquehanna River Valley.
That is impressive. I will say this. You've got a lot of really, there's a lot of talent
I was going to
in
say
the room.
talented backing.
Yeah, a lot of talent in that room. I like that. That's fantastic.
They're all great to work with, too. I love having partners when they call or send an email. I don't go, uh-oh. I go, ooh, what could this be? And that's how all of them are. It's really great.
Instead of them leaving it up to you, it sounds like they're sponsors that are engaged with the event. That's the takeaway that I have.
Sure.
Is that they're sponsors, and maybe that's just a gravel thing where your sponsors are really kind of like part of the program.
They elevate the event. Yeah.
I
mean, all of our sponsors make the event better and make it. Yeah, these things aren't cheap. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We put on a big production that costs money, but all of them, while they may not necessarily all bring cash to the table, they all bring something to make your value for registering for this kind of event worthwhile.
Yeah. So we had a little conversation before we started recording about whether we were going to have a this or that or not. And does anybody have an idea for this or that? We haven't gotten any feedback whether this or that's are something that people appreciate as being or enjoy being a part of the podcast. So, Joey, Dave, anybody have a this or that they'd like to throw out there? And let's see if we can bring that back to the game. How about the ultimate this or that? This or that's or no this or that's? We could do that one. We could do that one. I'm indifferent one way or the other.
Well, one thing I think you guys could do is pre-episode recordings, put some up on your Instagram as polls, and just get feedback from those. We wouldn't necessarily get to give our goofy explanations, or maybe they could as a message, but if it was, whoopie pies or pierogies, you could have a little pulse on that, and then you could have those results on this, as then you go around the room.
This or that.
That is a fantastic this or that. Okay, let's run with that. Dave, whoopie pie or pierogi?
Oh.
I know.
Can you have a whoopie pie pierogi?
I was getting ready to think, how can I make
how you can combine them together?
Whoopie pie pierogi?
Put the filling in the pierogi?
We got like 3 weeks. We can come up with this. But before then, I love pierogies.
Yeah.
Love pierogies.
I'm a pierogi.
pierogies.
I love the savory over the sweet. I would definitely go pierogies over. If you presented me with both and said you could only have one, I would choose the pierogies, particularly Evan's pierogies. Something about the magic that man puts into.
He
a pierogi.
was making some last weekend.
Yeah,
some
it'll be a public lands ride. I think there's still spots available for that. So if you'd like a couple doses of pierogies from the pierogi king of Popatty.
Pierogi king. That's another sticker.
It's like Abe Froman, sausage king of Chicago.
The pierogi king of Pennsylvania. Joey, do you have a choice?
That's so tough. I mean, I grew up with pierogies on the Polish side of my family, like homemade every couple times a year.
So does that make you like, oh, I'm done with the pierogi? I've had so many.
No, I still love pierogies. Okay. Like I keep Mrs. T's in the freezer at all times.
Yeah, we do.
Because them in a cast iron skillet might be what Evan makes at unPAved, because he buys so many with a little pink Himalayan sea salt.
Mm-hmm. It's all about what you do with it. That's just the base,
I mean, you're going to zap one in the microwave. It's not good. But this is going to cause controversy for the Pennsylvania folks. But Swingback John makes the best whoopie pie I've ever had.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did not have a tiramisu whoopie pie. Because everyone left me, I rushed out the door and forgot to pack my pockets full of whoopie pies.
Did you get one of his whoopie pies at all?
No, because
he's making them now for you.
Oh, they'll show up at your door in a couple of days.
Croatan, I definitely snagged some extras and hid them in my tent so I could have when I got. They're good.
And you know what? There was no fluke thing. The ones that he brought to Eric's this last weekend.
Yeah.
Once again, literally, the best whoopie pie ever is made by a guy from Maryland.
I still can't pick though.
Still can't pick.
To the border.
Yeah. If he falls over, I think he's in Pennsylvania.
Yeah. But.
You're not going to pick? You're not going to pick one or the other? You're just going to let it hang out there?
I'm going to go to unPAved. Hopefully, there's going to be tons of whoopie pies, but hopefully John makes a small batch and brings them. I'll even keep him at the campsite because he's probably doing the slumber party. And then I'll go see Evan.
He is in the slumber party.
I'm going to see Evan next week. I'm volunteering at Public Lands, and I'm I'm with Evan that day. So, we'll follow up.
So you're actually going to have a real life.
You do some research.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm going to do some
like
research.
it.
There we go.
Yeah, I need to do
tons and tons of research.
some homework.
I have been focused on getting fit, so I got a little extra room.
All right. Well, listen, folks.
I have another idea for this or that.
Okay, go ahead.
One more.
Yeah, please.
So this one's from the Tour de Chunk weekend, because I was surprised at that aid station where I met up with you all that there were Pepsis there. You almost never see Pepsi out on a bike event. It's always Coca-Cola. It's always Coke. And I even asked my wife, Celine, the fit chick, formerly held a fitness rider bicycle magazine, why is it always Coca-Cola, not either or? And she did say there is whatever their special secret ingredient in Coca-Cola has some proven fact of selling your stomach a little bit better than Pepsi.
So are we doing?
I didn't have a Pepsi. Did you have a Pepsi? Did you have a Pepsi there?
I
Did you
did.
have a this or that, or Coke or Pepsi?
Okay,
Coke or Pepsi.
So, Dave, you're first. Coke or Pepsi?
I would choose Coke just based off scientific fact, but I did not have a Pepsi there. So.
See, I grew up that we had soda in our
Do you
house.
have RC Cola?
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. RC Cola and a moon pie. I grew up in a house where the soda that we had for the week in the house was whatever was on sale at Highs.
Me too.
That was it. But if I had to choose between the two, I like Coke. I think Pepsi's a little sweeter for me. I drink Pepsi. Britney Spears. Anyway, Joey, what's your thing?
Birch beer on tap
Oh, yeah.
is the best thing
or
ever.
even in the can.
Oh, that's right.
You just have it in the can handy.
Glass
Yeah.
bottle.
Pennsylvania Dutch, a little Kutztown.
Joey and I are both drinking
Birch beer.
Birch beer right now. For those of you who can't watch us.
I have 2 of these left from what you gave me in December.
All right.
Well, now I have
I'm gonna
one
have to
left.
get a second keg of Birch beer. I know now. So
I guess sometimes I don't know the difference. I don't drink a lot of soda. Like, I don't drink soda really anymore except birch beer, so I can't tell the difference sometimes.
Yeah, I don't drink a lot of it either.
Did you know all the soda that like roadies drink, on TV and like in the U.S. is all flat?
Why?
Because you want to drink a little can of soda while you're riding, full of carbonation.
Oh, yeah, I guess you're right.
I would say 90% of it they flatten somehow before they actually hand it.
Wonder how they do that.
You just shake it up and let it sit out.
I don't know. Open it
That
up
way
to
it's
the
not
system
super
well.
carbonated, or when you open it
Yeah.
up, it doesn't go all over. But
Yeah.
I learned that when I was on the road.
Cool.
I bet if you're a pro team, you can order enough. That
I would say you like
get them uncarbonated.
Quick Step's probably ordering thousands of dollars worth of Coke.
But you can also just
Did you guys see that?
open the tap, open the cap.
The Escape Collective story on pro teams and how they're having trouble getting kits and jerseys and all that stuff. And then they did the math on how much. It's like 70,000 some pieces of clothing that a team gets. It was an insane amount of
Was that
3,000 caps.
the last episode? I'm a little bit behind on that one, an episode or two.
I heard a little bit on a podcast, then I was reading the article. It's just like a crazy amount of
Yeah.
Wow.
so many socks, so many vests, it's insane that a pro team gets. I like not putting on a pro event. Anyway, go on.
Never would have thought that number, ever. That's wild.
Yeah.
That's
So they can probably afford to get some flattened Cokes.
yeah. We'd order the flattened versions. You could always just open them up, I guess. I don't know. Okay, folks.
And it's spray.
You got a deer outside your window, Joey. Do you see this?
Oh, dear. Oh, that's why Blake's like.
Yeah, there's literally
deer.
a tiny deer in the front yard outside of Joey's condo complex.
Since we're rambling, I've been doing a lot of me and Blake. Blake gets me up early, so we do a lot of walks in the down the street and back. But when it's like 4:30 in the morning and you see these shadow figures, you're like,
Yeah.
I hope they're not the mentors. And then you're like lucky they're like deer, or all you hear is the clicking of the hoofs across the street and you can't see them. It's like, and my dog's not going to protect me. But we have a lot of deer on this road. Oh, my God.
Oh, there's so many deer. It's an overpopulation of deer. Yeah. So, folks, if you're on the fence about unPAved, there's spots available. You can still register. When
Get off the fence.
When does registration actually close? Do you close registration?
Leave the week before, though. I think we can also play that by ear. So.
Okay. So if for some reason you go there to register and registration is closed, Dave at unpavedpennsylvania.com. That's your ticket forward. But you can always get in. come for the weekend, come for the whole thing. I think that's the right thing to do, I would say. Anything?
Come in Friday, leave Monday.
Okay.
You won't regret.
Well, thanks everybody for listening to this episode. Record from right here in Blake's kitchen, all the way up to Emmaus, Pennsylvania. You are in Emmaus. I know your job takes you all over the world. You're in Emmaus right now, right, Dave?
I am currently in the basement in Emmaus.
Nice. So we are going to shut this down. Thanks, everybody, for listening to this episode of Mid-Atlantic Gravel, Travel, and Dirt. Special thank you to you, Dave, for joining us and walking us through the entirety of unPAved. And Joey, how can folks get in touch with us if they'd like to?
Oh, man, you think I remember? Our website's at Mid-Atlantic GTD.
No.
Our website's graveltraveldirt.com, and our Instagram is at Mid-Atlantic GTD.
And you can go and find all of the T-shirts and all of the tchotchke and all of the logo stuff.
Before the cease and desist come.
Before the C&Ds show up and we have to no longer sell. I don't know what I'll do. One thing I don't...
Get all your gear in time for unPAved. Take over unPAved looking like Mad Magazine.
Yes. Yeah. Perfect.
Last thing.
Yes.
Go get your bike worked on now.
It is.
It's
time.
like 3 weeks or something? It's close.
Yes.
Fresh brake pads.
Get new brake pads. Check your cables if you're still using those ancient things. Sealant in your tires. Get some nice stands in there.
That'd be stands sealant. That's
yes. Right. And charge your batteries. Make sure your battery's not faulty like Brian's was recently, and you're good to go.
Hey, well, how was I supposed to know? It's like till you charge it.
If your bike is in good shape, you're not going to have mechanicals at unPAved.
Truth.
You're not going to have flats. You're not going to have everything. I know there's a couple of years, like 2021. It was wet.
Knock on wood.
Well, Dave, I think, Dave,
still rideable.
You've said that you've ordered up the beautiful weekend weather. It's a wonderful fall weekend.
Ted Redmer's going to deliver it.
It really, honestly, I've ridden unPAved in the torrential cold rain, and I've ridden unPAved in the beautiful sunshine, and they're both
rain's better.
It's both just amazing. It's irrelevant.
Pennsylvania gray.
It is what it is. It's just a beautiful weekend in the woods and a beautiful time of the year, and it's just come do it. So thanks for riding along, everybody, and until next time, do good, be nice, go slow, respect others.
Love you, bye.
Love you, bye.
Love you, bye.